Hi, thanks for joining me today. I'm Dr. Marilyn Price-Mitchell, and I'm a developmental psychologist and researcher. I study and write about how children grow to become caring family members, innovative workers, ethical leaders, and engaged citizens in the 21st century. Today, I'd like to introduce you to my book, Tomorrow's Changemakers. Dr. Peter Levine, a renowned expert in the field of youth civic engagement and one of the many endorsers of my book, sends an important message that civic education is a responsibility all of us share. The goal of my book is to help families, schools, and communities understand the relationships and experiences that help grow caring and compassionate citizens. Tomorrow's Changemakers is a call to action with engaging information for educators, youth mentors, parents, coaches, clergy, psychologists, policymakers, and other leaders who share a commitment to educating and raising kids who give back to society. Chapter 1 examines why we should all care about raising future citizens and why youth volunteerism today may not be as meaningful to our children as you might imagine. Yes, there is a big difference between the kind of service that kids do to build their resumes for college and the kind of service that has the potential to transform their lives. Chapter 2 dives into the research on youth civic engagement and gives you a broad overview of how children form a civic identity. It's particularly useful for nonprofits, schools, and service programs that want to understand how the research supports their efforts to foster engaged young citizens. While this book is research-based, it's also about real stories, stories gathered from diverse young people in 22 U.S. states. These young people had one thing in common. They lived lives of service, committed to solving the root causes of social and environmental issues. Chapters 3, 4, and 5 show why their stories matter, and in their own voices describe the kinds of relationships and experiences that transformed their lives in meaningful ways. As it turned out, these young people had much more in common than met the eye. They shared a common developmental path. And in Chapter 6, The Roots of Thriving, you'll be introduced to a framework for understanding this development and the 8 core abilities that all children need to thrive. Yes, all of the young people whose stories contributed to the research in this book possessed 8 core abilities that gave them an advantage in life. I call them the compass advantage, and you'll learn why all children thrive when they develop these abilities. Young people themselves will tell you why. Tomorrow's Changemakers concludes with a summary of the practical ways teachers, parents, and mentors make a difference in kids' lives and for the future of democracy. I hope you'll learn from and be inspired by the young people who contributed to this book as much as I have. If you'd like more information about the Compass Advantage framework or Tomorrow's Changemakers, please join me at rootsofaction.com, where I write about the 8 core abilities that help kids thrive. You'll also find lots of free resources here for parents and schools. And lastly, I am very honored that Tomorrow's Changemakers has been recommended by so many parenting experts, educators, and community leaders. I hope you'll recommend it to your friends and colleagues too. Thanks so much for joining me today.